We're all one nation under God. This video was never made to go viral or be the talk of the town, but this video may cause me to get looked at a little differently, may deter my level of success in this police field that I'm in. It may even stop my growth as a cop. But I do know one thing, my words are real and I stand behind what's right. So to the actual good cops out there, I salute y'all, stand up, because this too shall pass. But the bad cops out there, man, go cut yourself and go jump in the ocean for me. My people, continue to record, and I'm Billy Ray, and I'm out.
And not be afraid, because before, when people would get together, they would be targeted, and in many cases they would be followed and then they would be executed.
I don't have a problem with getting hauled to jail or anything else if I know in the end I'm going to get to take that cop's house from him.
Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen any white people get killed?
Though it happened a year ago, the video is just now coming to light. The officer, Lieutenant Greg Abbott, has been on the force nearly 30 years. His lawyer says he was, quote, trying to gain compliance by using the passenger's own statements. But the county's new police chief said today that what happened was unacceptable.
I don't know what's in his heart, but I certainly know what came out of his mouth.
For almost 2 weeks in 2012, it watched Compton from the sky, testing a new technology called wide area surveillance, unbeknownst to residents on the ground.
This system was kind of kept confidential from everybody in the public. A lot of people do have a problem with the, eye in the sky, the big brother. So in order to mitigate any of those kind of complaints, we basically kept it pretty hush-hush.
The array of cameras on this aircraft that flew over Compton can record high-resolution images of a 25-square-mile area for up to 6 hours. It can track every person and vehicle on the ground, beaming back the pictures in real time. It's citywide surveillance on an unprecedented scale.
Let's look at where this was at.
It's citywide surveillance on an unprecedented scale.
My name is Alex Salazar. I'm a former Los Angeles police officer. I now work as a private investigator, and this is something that didn't obviously happen overnight. It's kind of like a long story here, but here I am in the state of Texas, in the city of Arlington. Here hooked up tonight with a fine cadre, a group that's caught national attention for them exercising their constitutional rights.
Now you got a unique perspective being on the inside of what's considered one of the most corrupt police departments in the country. Now, were you outspoken? Did you see any corruption while you were on the inside?
Most definitely I did see it, and I was also a part of it. And most definitely I did see it, and I was also a part of it, and also a participant of being part of the system at one time in my life. It's a moment where, I'm not proud to talk about it, but I talk about it because I believe that there is a atonement that needs to be done by people to recognize and to deal with societal issues that, isn't just, on one person, okay, but rather a issue that is systemic and that's been going around for a long time. And so for me, I did witness acts of police brutality. I also participated in it. And so, I stand here, naked in my own truth of what I know, what I saw, and hopefully not to be demonized, but to discuss an issue that right now is a topic of great conversation within our country.
I decided to leave the police department because I was profoundly disillusioned with the United States criminal justice system and the racism at its foundation and the impact that has nationally on communities of color everywhere, black and brown communities. Historically, black officers, Latino officers, minority officers have not held enough positions of power and authority in terms of rank, in terms of administration, to protect themselves when they challenge the culture, when they challenge the system. And retribution is usually swift and it's very real. One of the first things that you heard from your training officer or the officers around you was, forget that BS they just told you in the academy. We're going to show you how to be the police.
This type of machine right here, following me all the way home. Everywhere I go, I'm not too fond of these machines because when the police was using them, they're using to keep trying to set me up. And this stuff is a mental dilemma. If they wasn't strong with God, if they had belief in God, a lot of bad things could happen, man.
It's called predictive policing, trying to stop a crime before it even happens. Think Minority Report. And there are a lot of new techniques and technologies. We're under constant and ever more advanced police surveillance, whether or not we're suspected of doing anything wrong. Can all of this actually prevent crime? And at what cost? And when it comes to speaking out, is surveillance leading to self-censorship?
And this is a way to provoke a person too. This is peer provocation. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly what this is right here. You see, that's the city down there. You see? This thing. Same thing, you see him follow me from the front, now follow me from the side. And you see one other one try to get in the shot too. Okay, so if you look, you see it again. You see it? It's following me, and right now I'm on, this is Irwindale Ave.
Forget all of that political correctness and all of that, other stuff. Here's how we get down. Mainstream America is only now becoming more aware because now the prevalence of cell phone cameras, video cameras, and other recording devices has finally allowed them to see what people have been telling them for generations now.
My name is Brian S. Bentley. I'm a former Los Angeles police officer. I was a police officer for 10 years, and I spent 8.5 years working at Southwest Division. People aren't interested in hearing about officers' rights being violated when officers violate other people's rights.
So look, I'm being stalked by helicopters. Look at this. I'm going to the hospital, look. And the PD got so much control and time to waste. Look, they flying over me way out here. Isn't that amazing?
And there was no response at the same time that I received it. No response. No one wanted to touch it. Nobody wanted to go in that direction at all. They just wanted to just let it go. So nobody wants to comment on it, and it's just so that it just recently hit the media. Now people feel compelled, they're being forced to make statements about it. So eventually the city council is going to have to say something.
and not be afraid. Because before, when people would get together, they would be targeted. And in many cases, they would be followed, and then they would be executed. Followed, and then they would be executed.